Talking to soldiers, a lot of them will say the worst part is the waiting to go into battle. Sometimes troops have to move into positions at night time and hang around for hours and hours. And that's a lot of space when you can contemplate the fact that you might be killed, you might be wounded, that you may not see tomorrow, you may not see your parents again. Once the battle starts and your adrenaline's pumping and you're doing something, you're active, you can put your fears to one side. But it's that period of waiting when you know there's something challenging coming and you can't be quite sure what's really going to happen. Can you cope? Can you deal with these stresses? Can you keep these fearful thoughts at bay and go forward and do the job that you're expected to do? If you get the decision wrong, you could see 3 or 4 of your friends killed. War occurs in a context where the language is death, and if I don't shoot the enemy, he will shoot me. So, at the end of the day, going onto the battlefield and being willing to kill is a way of saving your own life.
Three cohorts of Romans and some Roman cavalry have come to this Celtic valley. As you can see, there's no Celts on the table at the moment. They're having a big feast, and they've invited a neighbouring tribe along to the feast. They will appear as the game goes on.
Most people, I suspect, just see it as a bunch of middle-aged men doing something they should have given up when they were 11, but that's life. I could say the same about other people's hobbies.
Yeah, I'm not shy about it. I mean, most people don't understand it.
I joined a War Games club when I was 12. I'm 61 now, so 49 years. And yes, I do remember my early battles. This is, I think, the oldest society in Britain, yeah. It's coming up on its 50th anniversary now.
So on the Roman side, we've got Bill, who is Dipso Maniacus Vino. Then we've got Terry as Maximus Fleatus. And Steve is in charge of the cavalry, and he's Senecus Dodius. On the Celtic side, we have Paul, who is General Bagatrix, who's in command of the local village. We've got Colin and William, who are commanding Catubatrinus. And Brian is Alibongus the Druid. You can start rolling for your command.
Right, so first chariot unit. Okay, so it's just them and they have evaded
so they
back.
go
One move.
One move back.
The dice invariably decide whether you win or lose. You can have the best strategy in the world and rolled absolutely rubbish dice and the whole lot's fallen apart.
I've been accused of being lucky with the dice. But I think it's down to lady luck with the dice.
You need 5 or less.
Yes, good lad.
We're just going to get slaughtered by the Romans if we're not together. We need to combine our forces.
How long would it be before you pass a command order and get them out of the village?
I'm sure everything is going to go much better from now on. I am the Commander-in-Chief. You may be the religious leader, but I'm sure military tactics should be left to me. Thank you very much.
You just keep praying.
Look, they're arguing all amongst themselves already, chaps. That's great.
Not going to happen. He may think he's in command.
Soldiers on the battlefield don't fight generally for patriotic beliefs. They fight because they don't want to let their friends down. They've formed into tough little groups doing dangerous things. And the worst thing you can do, I think, as an infantry soldier is not to go forward and to let your mates down. So soldiers fight for each other.
At the moment, whilst I'm caring for my mum who's recovering from hip and knee operations, I'm her main carer. I can paint over her house, but I'm actually in the process of building a workshop at the top of my garden. That means I'll have a proper purpose-built facility rather than commandeering the first table available and sticking a newspaper out and putting the figures and items to be painted. So if I end up sharing my life with some young lady, she doesn't have to share her dinner table with a pile of figures. That's the reason why I'm having my own building.
One of the types of wargaming I'm particularly interested in is the fantasy. Any of the fantasy books that I've read, I've sort of seen if I can actually produce armies for that series of books. Most of the books that I like best are those with a strong female lead as the hero, so...
6 dice, 1, 2...
Hold on, do you want to lock shields?
Do this time, yeah.
So he's locking shields.
4, 6, no general.
No, not he, it's general.
Most soldiers have an inhibition for killing, and they have to be trained and encouraged to often work in teams. And that's partly to make it more effective, but that's also a way of dividing responsibility, so that killing is shared between 2 people.
We've got 3 casualties so far.
Yep.
I have...
The military has ways of getting soldiers to kill in a way that is more indirect, so that it's not a personal thing, that it's not me attacking another person over there, it's me engaging in a process.
Six plus 3 for your general. So 9 dice needing 4s.
Hitting the flank. 3, 5s. Oh no, they're not hitting the flank, are they?
No, they're not in the flank.
1, 2, 3.
And at that point, the Celts have won.
Yeah. But you might win there, but you might not win there.
We've already won, we've destroyed you.
No, you haven't, you only got that.
We've killed the general.
We've still got 3 divisions to go, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Should we go make a cup of tea, Rod? Yeah, that's brew.
The traditional Roman answer when losing, go make a cup of tea.
Go make a cup of tea, that's a good idea, yeah.
Okay. You can certainly see soldiers coming out of battle traumatised and got harrowing expressions on their faces. But others have a sense of elation, of achievement. You get that short-term buzz of adrenaline, of having survived against all the odds, expecting to die. And I think that does have, for some soldiers, an addictive quality.
Hi dear. Hi. My generation grew up, for instance, watching a series called The World at War in the 1960s. It was 20 years after World War II had finished. So fighting a battle with this sort of stuff, I can see the images in my head that were real images of the actual battle I'm playing. I divorced myself from that a bit, but it is why Ancients is my favourite period. I have no way of actually knowing or have any image in my head of how a hoplite battle went in 500 BC, so I can play an ancient battle or a science fiction battle because, you know, they didn't really happen, the science fiction ones. If wargaming teaches you one thing, it's how incredibly easy it is to cause the death of lots of people by making silly mistakes.
There are lots of accounts of soldiers coming home, becoming socially isolated, and not able to fully reintegrate. And one argument is that they're now feeling something called moral injury, that they're reflecting on their experience, and they're looking at the nature of the war, and they may have a dilemma and thinking that the demands put on us and the things we suffered are not proportionate to what we achieved. And the sense is that they've got unresolved conflicts and not being able to find an answer to that.
A war game just for the fun of it, really. I don't take anything too seriously. It's just a game with toy soldiers, so therefore enjoy it whether you win or lose, really.